Hi there, I'm Gill Wilson from Allegiant AI, and today I want to do a little walkthrough with you about how to get invoices and receipts out of your email and into FreeAgent if that is your accounting software. If it's not, then this might not be the best place for you. This may work for other accounting packages if you swap it out, but you would have to do your research for others. And there's actually some integrations that you could pre-use. Anyway, here's the overview of what I wanted to achieve. An email, invoice, or receipt arrives in my inbox, and I use something called Wellybox, which is able to pull these out of my email. I've given that permission, so it's integrated with my email, and then it will auto-categorize as best it can. You can then set up automations and things like Wellybox that helps that. At this point, I just wanted to check that the categorization was correct because it's not always 100% correct, and I wanted to do this before it got into my accounting software so that I was confident that everything in my accounting software was as it should be. Anyway, you might choose to do it later on in your accounting software, but I do here. Then I use a tool called Make from make.com, and what that does is it grabs the category, matches against the category ID list, and that makes sure that FreeAgent has everything categorized correctly and sends the output off to FreeAgent. All right, so let's dive in and let me tell you a little bit about what I used to get this done. Let me just make that go down. Okay, so I use a thing, it's an AI agent software called Manus, which is absolutely amazing for what we call vibe coding. I told it that I needed to import my reviewed transactions from Wellybox, add them into FreeAgent, and then we had a good long chat. And eventually it outputs a document that is actually just made for me. And let me just it's not the one. Let me just find it. Here we go. There we go. So there we go. It produced this amazing document, which is, I don't know how many pages long, pages and pages, but it's got all the information in, which is brilliant. And you get it in PDF, so you can have those really easy to follow step-by-step instructions. And I'll link that in the show notes. Okay, so the other thing you need to know about Manus is that it works on tokens, as everything does, but they give you tokens when you're going to share their link with your friends. And here's mine. So if I share this and somebody else signs up, then we both get some extra credits, which is fab. And I think this is a really genius way to spread usage of your tool. Anyway, I'm going to put my link, if that's okay with you, in my notes below, and if you want to sign up using that, that's brilliant. And then you can then get your own link and share that with your friends as well. So that's brilliant. Okay, let's get started then. So this is an example of one of the things that might come in to my Gmail. This one is my Google Workspace, and it's got an attachment, and the attachment just looks like that. It's just a PDF, and Wellybox is something that I use, which is pretty cool. I actually have a lifetime deal that I got on AppSumo. If you don't know about AppSumo, check it out. It's really good. Anyway, Wellybox, if you don't have it, it does a whole bunch of stuff. It grabs all your receipts from Gmail or Outlook automatically and pulls them into Wellybox, which is brilliant. And it kind of looks like this. You get all the ones that are new and the ones that I've already reviewed are there. And what it will do is it will make an attempt to categorize it, and if work out the currency and stuff like that. But it's not always perfect, but it does a pretty good job in it. Obviously, Uber, travel, yep, that's what that is. So the other thing about it is it does have an API, which is what I needed to grab what I needed the information out of. Now, if you're using something like Xero or QuickBooks, it has a built-in connection. It's got some other built-in ones, so you can, if you have either of those, you can stop watching now. But this, I don't. I have FreeAgent, which I love, so I don't want to change that. So I'm sticking with that. Okay, so when I change so I would accept that. If I change the name to reviewed, save and move forward, then what will happen is that it will then go into something called make. So for those of you that don't know about Make, if you don't know, I'm going to make the assumption you're familiar with Make and its modules and setup and things like that. If you're not, please go and you can sign up for it and start for free. And it is a brilliant academy that you can learn, that's all free, and you can learn how to use this. So I'm assuming that you've already been through that and you understand a little bit about how to set up scenarios in Make. So this is my Make scenario, and it's very straightforward, very simple. It's got 3 modules on it. The first one is the webhook, and this is a custom webhook which is set on waiting, looking for the change of status to go to reviewed. And this triggers the running of this scenario and pulls out the information from Wellybox into a bundle. Now, I can go here to where the information it's received has pulled this out, and you can see it pulls out a bundle. Again, if you don't know what that is, then go look up Make's terminology. And it has a whole other bunch of stuff around the receipt, information around that receipt. So now that it's got this information, you can see in the middle here that I've got this Google spreadsheet. Let me just show you this. This spreadsheet is all the category codes from FreeAgent, so it's the description and the code ID. And I've matched the categories in Wellybox with the FreeAgent ones. But to run and make the Make code, it needs the numerical value. And I don't know if you noticed there, but the category here, where is the category? It's in here somewhere. Expense category is Google Workspace. Okay, so that's in here in text, and actually to send it on, we need that in code. So that's what's happening here in this module. It searches the rows of that spreadsheet, connected to it here to the particular sheet name, and then down the bottom I'm going to filter that spreadsheet so that it matches the expense category, which comes from the data that we brought in from the webhook. So it's pink, you can see it came from here, and I've stuck that down there, and lo and behold, if I check the data here, you can see that it's gone through that. It's managed to find at row 52 the code number 101. Now, in this case, actually, there isn't a Google Workspace, but what I've set up to do is that anything that is not in here will go to 101, which is actually the code in my system for cost of goods sold, which makes most sense for my accounting, but it might not to yours. So you should set that up the way that you feel is appropriate. So now we've got that number, we can now move on to the final module, and this is where the data is passed into the FreeAgent account. And although Make does provide some FreeAgent modules, the one that we need to target expenses is the Make an API call. Now, if I just move my head out the way there, what you can see is that the URL that I have to use is /v2/expenses, and that's going to give you the method, the URL to access anything to do with the expenses. And the method we're going to use is post, because we're sending the information to it. as opposed to any of the others. It has some other ones. Get would be the other one most commonly used, but we're using post. And then we won't touch anything else here. And down at the bottom in the body, we have a little bit of JSON code, which Manus absolutely helped me get right. So you can totally use it to help you. So let's look at the code that's in here. It's pretty straightforward. It just basically matches the fields that you need that have come in from your webhook that match to FreeAgent. So the date, the document date, the currency. We've got the currency, the gross value. That's the total amount. Now, what you'll see here is there's a little bit code which actually a -1 star, and what that means is we're multiplying the total by -1. And the reason for that is that FreeAgent really sensibly thinks that expenses should be a minus number and not a plus number. So if you send through a plus number, it's going to think that you're getting a refund, and it will add that on, and that can mess with your books quite considerably if you did that for a lot. So make sure you have that -1 times excuse me. The category, again, we brought that in from the categories ID from the spreadsheet here. Got that number going through, and then the final thing that you can put in here is your ID of your account, and you can find that in your account. I've taken mine out for privacy, obviously, but that's where you would put it there. And then once you've got that through, it will then send this all through. As you can see here, it's got the date, it's got the currency, it's got the value, it's got the, I might need to blur that out, and then that will head off. And that's really all you need to get your automation going. And I think you'll find that, the other thing I didn't actually point out is that in this, I have chosen to add in the description as the vendor and a link to the receipt in Wellybox. So if I show you one of mine here, you can see that it's needing me to log in. Yeah, you can see that I've just put the link in here, and this link goes directly to the file of the receipt downloaded. So if you ever need the actual receipt, you can do that. Could you upload this? Yes, you could, but yeah, I don't think it's, you could, there would be another piece of work that I could do to just upload the file directly to you, but because I've got Wellybox, I don't really need to do that. So that's all I need to do for that. So hopefully that has been helpful. I'm just going to go back and show you the overview again, and hopefully that has helped you see that process. If you don't want to do this yourself, then we at Allegiant, we provide a done with you service and a done for you service. So just drop us a message and we can see what we can do for you. And as always, please like and subscribe for more tips, podcasts, and fun AI automation videos. Take care, folks.